Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where Laf and I are on the podium today and going to give you all the graft. But more importantly, in your call, we've got a very exclusive interview with Piere Strydom on life, 5,000 winners, and all the things that make Strydom tick. And it's well worth watching the interview. But we've had a huge week's racing, and you've been cruising along?
Cruising along. Well, they're getting ready for the Guineas this weekend. You know, it'll be interesting. It's always good. The Guineas is a great race. It's a very competitive field. And Actor War looks to be the likely favourite, or the favourite, and deservedly so. He looks to be a champion in the making. So it looks like it'll be a very good race.
When are you flying down?
We're flying down in the early hours of Saturday morning.
So you fly down, get there, race, fly back?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
And Strydom?
He cruises down in his own time.
Let's go and have a look at 3 to follow. Well, let's go and have a look at the Vaal, and we found race 1 on the Vaal on the sand. Now, very seldom we find one on the sand, but the Eagle Eye Laf found this one, and my goodness, when you watch it, this should have won a minute. It was all over the place, and certainly friendless in the bedding. Let's go and have a look at this race and pick it up at the start. Scar Tissue.
Yeah, Scar Tissue is from the stable of Michael Lazzie. JP van der Merwe rides it. And I think this horse has got a big come-on look about it, James.
Well, if you look at it here, it's on the outside in the orange sleeves, and it's about 7th, right on the outside, in Tinus Kerika's colours. And yeah, perfectly, no problem at all. But then it gets in behind and gets a kickback as they start swinging for home and just drops out of it. Watch here, just goes backwards.
Yeah, this was a competitive race too, James. When I looked at it, the eventual winner's Aqua Blue looks a nice horse. Red Scimitar is a nice horse. Forest View found support. So did Vision Quest. So it was a race that I thought was very competitive. And this horse, as you say, doesn't enjoy the kickback.
Well, it's 2 from the right-hand side of your screen now, and the boy just pulled his stick through into the right hand. And now it starts making a bit of ground, but the rest, going through the 600, must be 5 or 6 lengths in front. And never really looks like making any ground at all, but runs on very, very well here. You'll see the top 5 are forward tussling out in front, and Scar Tissue now starts to run on,
very
but
green
lugs in.
Lugging in terribly, very, very green. Doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't want to go back behind that kickback. The front 4 are fighting it out. One's falling out of it. And suddenly this horse straightens up. This is a very nice horse.
Straightens up, rolls past the horse that's rolling backwards, and in a matter of strides it would have won this race, but just didn't know what was going on. Absolutely.
Yeah. Follow Scar Tissue from the Michael Lazzie stable. Very good run. You're going to see this one win soon.
Tiger Ridge?
Yeah, but Tiger
one
Ridge.
Of the
things out of a Gelid mare, I think.
Yeah, Mary's stallions
yeah.
at Wilgeborstriff. He's been a bloody stallion.
Sure, he's thrown some great horses.
Yeah, and Summer Cup winners. Let's go and have a look at the big race at Kenilworth. Was the first juvenile race of the Cape season. We go to race 2, and this was very interesting. I had a good look at them in the parade ring because I was down in the Cape, and the Vars. The VAR of Joey Ramsden looked like a division better than this field and was backed. This VAR was absolutely friendless in the market with Jared Samuel. Let's go and have a look at Carmina.
This is Loose in Africa, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Loose in Africa rides it, and these 4 furlong scurries, they get away pretty well, apart from Septimo, who doesn't get away with them. But the supported horses are soon up into the race, and it's interesting to see, James, the winner. And is in 3rd now with the white face. Is the first of the Warm White Knights to run. So a big plus to Carvlefay and their stallion here, because The winner, Harlem Shake, wins a very good race.
Okay, let's go and have a look at Carmina, who's in the pink, one off the left, and under pressure, being scrubbed along, and you know, really now gets a shake up, gets a smack, gets hands and heels right, and goes after them. The winner in the pink cap goes on to win a nice race, third winner in the week for these connections, and Carmina now absolutely flies, gets the hang of it and flies. This is a beautiful filly.
Yeah, this is a lovely filly. This is a daughter of Var, Carmina. And this is from Normandy stud, owned by the folks and bred by them. Well done to them. I think this horse just got to learn to run straight and be very hard to beat, especially if there's another 4 furlong coming up.
Right, let's go and have a look at the third one we got is race 5 at the Val. Very interesting, this race. The winner, 7th Symphony, had run second twice, and the form had been franked a couple of times, but the Zakis didn't want to hear about this filly getting beaten, this daughter of Toreador, Lamia. And let's go and have a look at her at the start. They've drawn next door to her, drawn 5 and 6, and she's drawn 6 and drawn 5 is the filly that ends up winning the race.
Yeah, they were pretty confident that she'd run a great race. She's by Toreador, and we've seen a few good Toreadors run along this, bred by the Alchemy, so Philip will be pleased with this. But they were very confident, as James said. And again, there were a few horses in here that had ability and had found support. Jeff Woodruff's horse found support, River Empress, 7th Symphony, the winner had found a lot of support, and it was a cracking race.
Absolutely. 7th Symphony is in front now and clear, and this filly's now chasing her, and it's really, she's under pressure to go with her, but she moves up to her, so she can obviously run like anything. But 7th Symphony under the hands right from Strydom, just has always got her measure. Gavin Larina's doing his very best on this filly Lumia, but she just can't get to the winner.
Yeah, look where the rest of them are. You know, even the third horse runs a decent race, Lady Eleanor. But beyond that, they're in another parish. So keep an eye on Limia. Very good debut.
Yeah, I think this filly's really got some class. You know, she was touted to be an absolute good thing. Ran like a good one. We've got to have a look at the Cape Guineas from last year and what a race it turned out to be. And if you have a close look, you get some sort of idea of things that were to come over the season. But this year's Cape Guineas is going to be just as big a cracker.
Flirtation coming home, and Flirtation has won it. She's tearing them apart in the Guineas Cup. A superb win by Emma de Vitoria.
Mother Russia, there's no stopping true class.
Antonius Dubois, Red Rayan, we're set to go. There's R1 million at stake, all clear. Gates fly, racing in the Grand Parade Guineas from the 1600. Top Jet slow when the starter said go, and he slots into the back of the field. Red Ray began well up there with the speed. Antonius Dubois, Captain America, the pink up is pushing past runners on the outside. Whistle Stop is racing on the rail. Then comes Legislate and Strongman 3 deep on the move outside of runners, improving position all the while. Cape Cutters racing next. Then comes Forest Indigo, who's also trapped deep on the outside of Speed Rocket and Dynastic Powers on the rail. A length and a half away comes Elusive Gold, is racing a half in front of Top Jet. Next in running we got Power King, Roman Manor and De Kock is sitting at the end of a stretched out field. A good 18-20 lengths cover them through the middle of the bend. 800 meters left to go, and Strongman has come round them all to lead the way from Red Ray and Captain America. These two are side by side in second. Whistle Stop is sitting next, and behind that comes Antonius Dubois. Next in running we got Cape Cutter, then comes Power King. Towards the inside, Speed Rocket and Forest Indigo is up the middle as they settle battle for the run to the line in the Grand Parade Cape Guineas. 400 metres left to go. Red Ray and Captain America. They move up together and take up the running. Nothing more to come from Strongman Whistle Stop. Forest Indigo is into the clear and flashing. Up the outside, Legislate. Down the inside, Red Ray, Captain America and Forest Indigo is on the charge. Up the outside, Elusive Gold is running an absolute cracker up the outside. It's Captain America. Elusive Gold is catching stride for stride to the wire. Very close. I fancy Elusive Gold beats stable companion Captain America on the line. Red Ray back in third.
Well, Elusive Gold left our shores.
He was hailed from Seattle, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Red Ray, they decided he sprinted off that. Captain America, they haven't worked out.
Yeah, haven't got the bottom race on that. Very good horse, but they haven't got the bottom of him. Yeah.
Forest Indigo, we haven't seen since.
Yeah, Group 1 winner.
But the one horse that you have seen finished down the field.
Legislate.
Yeah.
Champion. I think he'd beat them all any distance now, James.
Yeah, yeah. He just.
I don't know what Elusive Gold's done.
The rest of them were nothing to write home about. But Legislate, tucked in there, 6 lengths behind the winner, ended up being the right horse, ended up winning it. We're going to go and have a look at the Plum of the week, and we'll chat a little bit about this one.
They come past the 600-meter mark. Chasing Dreams, Elisa's Pride go the quickest, with Lady Ming just in behind these, and Peach Delight. They being followed further back towards the inside by Good Girl Flies, who's now starting to make a little progress. Further back come Fly With Me, is being asked to get out after them, but going up and down at this stage. Elisa's Pride still finds more as they come down to the final 300. Peach Delight is trying hard to cut back that deficit over towards her inside. Lady Ming now starts to get into the race too, starting to unwind a good-looking effort, and Trilateral is also running on. Elisa's Prize is running green. Now, Come Fly With Me gets into full crunch. She's flying home in the center. Come Fly With Me gets up to win going away. Peach Delight was back in second. Elisa's Prize stopped late. Lady Ming further back.
Well, if you saw this filly's full sister beat Alboran C last week, and you know, Walter Bass has been very, very patient with that filly. She had her problems and brought her back. You would have had to back this filly, and she's got a very big reputation. You could have got 7-2 or 4-1 on into bet, as much as you like. She ended up starting 2-1, but early on she was a really good price, and she really looks good, this filly.
This filly's going all the way. She had no chance at one stage. I saw at the back of the field, she then quickened up, and I thought she might run into third, then she might get there, and then she won by length.
Yeah, well, he had a double on the day, very unlucky with Helderberg Blue, which we'll talk about later. But a very, very good win from this filly, and she was really outstanding.
Good Plum.
We're going to go and have a look at the current affairs, and then we'll talk about everything that's happening all over the world as far as racing is concerned. And we've got some quite interesting little snippets from the Cape.
Welcome to Current Affairs, and this week we had two group races, both down in Cape Town, and both going to Snaith Cormac combination. Well done, Tim. We will be showing you those races in a moment, but two very good rides, I thought.
Out the top draw, I think thought Sean Cormac absolutely rode them to sleep. He caught them up in front. There wasn't much of a wind. It was just a breeze. But just chatting about the day before we get into this, you know, this was Bryn Wrestle's day.
Yeah,
okay?
well done to him.
And it was a marvelous day.
Yeah.
Very good racing. The hospitality was amazing. The food, I'm telling you, I haven't found food on a racecourse like this since I went to Royal Ascot. And there I was lucky enough to be in the private boxes and you know, with the best. They had rare fillet, beautiful. Salads, magnificent. The racecourses in South Africa could take a leaf out of these guys' book. It was really out of the top drawer, and that will get people to the races, good food.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fillet sounds good for me as a vegetarian.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you
but the magnificent.
I ate
The salad.
for you.
Did you eat for me?
Yeah, I
Okay,
ate
I'll
for
drink for you.
Yeah.
You can eat for me.
Yeah, well, don't worry. There were a couple of people around us that you know, had a good time. But Walter looked after us on the day.
He's a wonderful host.
Well, the thing that worries me is how long he's going to go for, you know, because I don't know if he's going to last that long.
Well, he's going to venture some video dive into his plunge pool. Is he still contemplating that?
He's very big on this, very big on this. He's especially worried if there's a fire. He thinks that he'll be able
Fire
to.
at his place. He
Yeah.
hasn't even got a fireplace. You know, well, you know, if he tries that jump, his jaw will have more pieces than a jigsaw puzzle when he hits the concrete. And I just hope he scoffs the idea.
First thing that will happen is you'll pull an Achilles trying to lift
Then a hammy.
Yeah, and a hammy. Yeah, there can be Hammy's pulled string. You can call
Hammy's pulled string.
What's the name? You can
Pulled
call
by Hamilton.
Our mate, you know, the Hammy's boy.
Oh, yeah, Bryn Wrestling in him. Marsh and Bryn
Marsh
Wrestling.
can call it a Hammy's pulled string.
Yeah,
okay?
pulled by Hamilton.
Yeah.
A new one for Mark Bass to train, but let's hope he doesn't venture and do that jump. But James, all in all, a good day down there.
It was marvellous. And just to mention that, you know, Bernard Cantor had his annual party. And
Always a big success.
oh, fantastic affair. And
Yeah.
really a wonderful host. He
Yeah.
gave a wonderful speech, and you've been before, so you know
Yeah,
what it's all
no,
about.
it's always-
I got the nod this year, which was very lucky. At least one of the winning ways.
Yeah,
team got the nod,
absolutely.
because,
Yeah, no,
you know,
well done to you,
it's,
James.
It's not easy to get into that party. I can tell you there.
No, it's
are all
harder
the
to get
honchos.
out
It's a
once you're in.
Whole of Pumalelas there.
That's
Yeah.
that's good. It's a wonderful party, and no expense is spared. It's really very good, I believe.
Just a message to Marcus Juster. He had an operation on Friday. Shame so he wasn't able to get there. So hopefully he gets soon.
Yeah, well, let's
gets well
hope you're on
soon
the mend.
and back on the race course as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think he'll be down there for the Guineas. He's got
Well,
the
let's
favourite.
hope so.
Hope you're on the mend, Marcus. Get back and get well soon. But let's go. We've spoken about these races. We've spoken about Cape Town. And let's go and have a look at the Victory Stake. It's a Grade 3 race.
Down the inside, the first one to move in and challenge. Indaba, the 3-year-old, is right in touch with him too in the centre. Up towards there outside, Shingwedzi's trying to get into it too. Acrostar, meantime, is starting to unwind. A good-looking challenge from the back of the field, and she's picking them off one by one as they come down towards the final 300. Acrostar's still got a couple of lengths to make up, but she's running on nicely as Jet Supreme hits the front. Acrostar's wider out. Jet Supreme. Acrostar coming to get her in the centre of the course. Jet Supreme is hanging tough. Acrostar unwinding one final run, but Jet Supreme holds on. Jet Supreme, I think, held on from Acrostar. Very tight. In behind them, it's also tight for the place.
Well, Jet Supreme, a great ride by Sean Cormack. Well done to Devines, Jetmaster again. And Justin Snaith completely dominating this race. He's runner, Acro Star. James, unlucky loser?
I thought extremely unlucky. I thought if Faria had a length or two closer, she would have won.
Yeah.
But you can't give start to the whole field. I know she's run on from behind, but she's been running in sort of progresses and conditions races against horses that she would beat. Now
Yes.
you jump up into this class.
It's tough.
Cormac was brilliant. That's the point. He was drawn 9. He went and decided to get up there, get a good position, and Jetmaster for the Divines had a great day because, as we saw, the Plum of the week was a Divine horse out of a Zabeel mare.
Yes. Yeah, I saw
So
that.
really, Jetmaster still firing. But let's go and have a look at the next one, which was the big one, the Premiers. Is always a great pointer to the Met. You always have horses that look like they're on the cusp.
Yeah.
And this year looked no different. We had Captain America was a hot favourite, and I think he just got beaten by the pace. He just got completely beaten by the pace. But
Yeah, he normally races up there, not quite his run, but let's have a look at the race and we can talk about the runners that feature and don't feature.
Lengths in fifth, but no more than 3.5 lengths off the lead. They're becoming very compact. True Master races in behind that. Johnny Rockets races next. He's being followed by Gold Onyx, and Captain America is 6 lengths last as they turn in the straight now, and 6:50 left of the line. Dynamic brought the field for home. Parter Familiar still tracks him in second. Orion the inside races third. Helderberg Blue is moving easily behind those and starts to make a little progress. They followed by Power King, who's also running on towards the inside, and Captain America is now being asked to get out after the leaders. Dynamic has come forward to pick it up. Power King down towards the inside. Helderberg Blue's in the center. Orion between runners is coming on well. Dynamic is keeping challenge at bay. Power King is coming well down the inside. Helderberg Blue up the outside. Dynamic hanging tough. Helderberg Blue trying all he can. They get to the line. Dynamic just lost long enough from Helderberg Blue. They were followed by Power King. Further back in running, Johnny Rockets.
Yeah, interesting race, and Sean Cormack again seemed to advantage when they were going around the backstretch. Horse was canted at the start in abroad, so he had no pace. He completely dictated a superb ride. Wonderful to see this horse back. I was listening to Chris Snaith talk about his problems, and Hassan's taken on his two mates, you know, Ashraf and of course Chris have come in as partners. He's retained half, it runs in his colours, and they're going to have a lot of fun. This is a very good horse.
Yes, he's certainly got lovely action, but I really do believe they played into his hands, and I thought Cormac made the most use of a situation that a lot of jockeys cannot work out.
Yeah.
He just was brilliant. The second horse was the unlucky horse.
Ran well.
Power King, I thought, ran a very good race, coming up the inside, you know. He's now been gelded, and I think that there's a lot to come from him, Power King. You know, he nearly won the Triple Crown.
The horse we've got to talk about is Captain America, James. Only beaten just over 4 lengths. It seemed to loom up. Never lost ground on the leader, but never closed greatly.
Yeah, I think that it was that type of race. They went so slowly that basically a horse like Captain America would not been able to quicken to get.
I agree with you. I agree 100%. It did not suit him. And True Master were trying to plug up on the outside, and they stayed on because they didn't have the speed. Cormac had got them all off the bit with that dash.
An interesting race, and interesting to see the depth of the Cape horses, because there are a lot of very nice 4-year-olds around in the Cape Town that don't look like they're really top class. But this field might be a couple that...
There's some good horses here. I agree with you, James. Some good horses.
You know,
there's some very good horses.
25 to 1 in the betting for the Met, these horses. 20, 25 to 1. And really dynamics, 8 runs, not really exposed. The second horse, Helderberg Blue, he's such a nice horse, but he's a bit cuckoo.
Yeah.
And
he ran a good race, James.
Ran a cracking good race. When he gets in a race, as the Basses tell me, when he gets in a race, he goes and does it.
Yeah.
But before a race,
is he a bit of a nutter?
He's naughty.
Is he an entire or a gelding?
No, they gelded him.
Oh,
And they thought that would help him, and it has helped him, because before the Derby last year, he was absolutely impossible. And if you strictly went on that line, you had to be with Captain America.
Yeah.
But he's improved. I think the pace was against Captain America. Lots of things not right.
Yeah, but I think we'll see a lot. But I'm pleased for Hassan and his partners that this horse has come back.
Yeah, it was stiff for Bryn and Marsh, because, you know, they sponsored the day and would have loved to win the big race.
Would have been fitting.
You know, Baz had 2 winners, and then cruised off to Milnerton the next day for the Christmas competition, okay?
What's a Christmas
golf competition?
Oh, golf.
No, it's a big thing, okay? You got Brian Makepeace, he runs the whole show.
What is this for green readers or golfers?
Well, all golfers, but he won. Bass's team won, okay? They won. And let me tell you, some 5 or 6 10-footers, okay, like a champion, and made a 4 on the loss into the teeth of a howling gale. Now, there's no one, Westwood would have battled to make a 4 in his prime. From where Bass was, he was in the water, and he hit it next to the stick about 10 foot and made the putt, because he is the best green reader around.
There is no doubt.
Oh, amazing. And let me tell you, he's in the golf school. It's absolutely amazing. They had a big lunch and the whole thing, and they all call him Hall of Famer.
Is that right?
He's the Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well done to you, Walter. Well done with the horses, and well done with the golf. And I still have my money on the likes of De Kock, if he played Walter, even at the handicap. But let's carry on talking about...
Don't you be so sure.
Must not be so sure. Walter's a shrewdy.
Yeah.
I'm a De Kock man when it comes to golf and horses. Right, let's go on and talk about what's happening all over the world. Singapore, Laurie Laxton's done it again, James. He's won the Trainers' Championship for the 9th time now.
He's absolutely a legend, isn't he?
Very good trainer.
Left New Zealand.
That's right.
And went to Singapore, cut his teeth there. Just, you know, talking about Singapore, Moreira cut his teeth there as well, and he rode the 2 big race winners in Hong Kong.
Mark Bass might cut his teeth if he considers that jump. He'll cut his jaw. But let's
just
get back
to explain. I think we should just explain, because people don't really understand. He's on the first floor. There's about 12 foot between him and his plunge pool, which is about as big as this, lesser than the size of the studio. He wants to bail from the first floor of his, that's his bedroom window, into this plunge pool.
In case there's a fire.
Yeah, in case there's a fire. Well, I said to him, what I think he should do is put a bit of cushion, you know, on the front part. He says he's got a stunt man who knows whether it's possible to do. I said, you ask the stunt man
first,
and then you can
push Carol or something. You know, let's get it right, Mark. But
why
let's talk.
Why pick on poor Carol?
No, you're right.
Carol's
a year ago, we were talking about Variety Club being the best miler around. Now that the whole world's talking about a horse called Able Friend, who won the Hong Kong mile, the Group 1 mile, came from last with Joe Moreira and won by 4.5. They're calling this horse the Supreme Miler now, a horse called Able Friend.
Yeah,
by Shamadol, James.
Shamadol, and Designs on Rome won the Cup, which is the other big race. So that was Moreira as well.
Yes, he had a good time. He had a good time. I found something that was very interesting as well too. There was a horse that won overseas, won a Group 2 called the Villiers Stakes. The horse's name was Rudy, and was ridden by a rider called Luke Tarrant. And Luke Tarrant won this race. It was a major moment for him. And then he weighed in, and he was 400 grams under, James. Now, I think it's just about a universal weight that you can't be more than 500 or more. And they waited, and they said to him, how come you're lower? And he said that he had urinated. And it was touch and go, but at 400, they leveled up and said, okay, it's 400. They gave him a hefty fine, James.
But they didn't take the race away.
No, the race stood. And he's been warned that get your ablutions in order before the race. Yeah. And but he was
400 grams. That's almost half a kilo of
steak, as you had as the fillet. 400 grams of fillet. Yeah. He
that's a big wee, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If he had an extra slice of fillet, James, he would have been 500 grams, and he would have been disqualified. Yeah. Group 2 race. So bear that in mind, all you riders. Don't go
just talking about riders, Divan Neertling, the apprentice, broke his arm on Friday night, which was not very nice for him. We wish him a speedy recovery.
Speedy recovery. I saw photos on Facebook. He's on the mend. His family have been in there to wish him well. He's a young apprentice whose career is starting to go the right way, and suddenly he gets injured.
Well, just talking about, Bloodstock South Africa, they involved here with us, and they sold a horse for 30,000 Rand on the August sale. That's the national 2-year-old sale, beginning of August, to Tony Zaki. And the horse's name was Monsieur Magok. They sold it overseas to Mr. Chung, okay? Horse raced in Hong Kong as first running, ran second the other day. Absolutely flying. Moreira rode and came from the back, and just shows you if we can get these horses over there. Yeah. These are Mint Masters on his way. It's going to take him 6 or 8 months to get there. If we can get these horses over, these are not great horses. They're running in
Scotty bred horse, wasn't it?
Yeah, Magok. He's a very nice Magok out of a Dolper mare, but he looks like he'll go all the way. The horse that beat him is one of the fancied horses for the Derby, for the Hong Kong Derby. So, that was a good run.
It's just such a tragedy. We sit here year in and year out, and we debate the merits and the protocols of getting our horses overseas. And here's a 30,000 Rand horse going over it.
Goes there and does it. Probably racing for 300,000 Rand.
With the Chinese market opening, James, we should be getting our horse auditions. The unsung heroes, the breeders, need to get a couple of pound. Yeah. All right, shall we go and talk to Piere Strydom?
Yeah, great interview. You'll enjoy Piere Strydom. I asked him a couple of questions he definitely can't answer, but he sort of pads around it like he's, But lovely chatting to him, and once again, congratulations on his 5,000th winners, and may there be many more. We will see you again next week. racing, we have heroes and we have non-heroes. Heroes are people that really make it in this business. Horses that make it, jockeys that make it, trainers that make it, but specifically jockeys who do something really special. They are the heroes in this game. I don't know why everyone loves them, but as we promised you and you've always wanted, Piere Strydom's in studio with us, 5,000 winners.
Thank you very much.
How the hell did you do it?
Well, I've had to, you know...
Not get up early in the morning.
No, that has never been a good part of mine. No, you know, you've got to do well every single year, and I've probably been very lucky to have a lot of good rides, and just been, I think I might have been in top 4 for the majority of those years, unless I've broken something and or been out of the country.
It's not easy to ride 5,000 winners. When we sat and added it up, it works out about 150 a year. For 33 years you've been in the saddle?
Yes, I've been riding for 33 years. Also remember, I had some seasons 300 winners a season, so those days going for the championship. Obviously you travel a lot more, ride a lot more. So.
But Piere, how did it start? You know, you come from a racing family. You grew up as a kid, going to stables, watching horses, riding horses. Obviously, you had that advantage.
Well, as most people know, my dad was a jockey and is now trained in PE. I used to go to the stables school holidays, and my dad would put me on a couple of horses. And well, I had some not good experiences. Horses bolting with me, and I mean, if you just imagine you weighing 25 kilograms and these horses are super fit and racing, and my dad, he likes to do short, sharp work, so you must know how fast those horses are going down the track. And obviously I couldn't stop them at the end. And the track at Fairview is not a, he likes to work on the straight track, so it's like a dead end, and obviously sometimes couldn't stop them, and that made me realize that this is dangerous, and I didn't want to ride these horses. And every school holiday, my friends, cousins, they all wanted to come to the stables. So I'd obviously jump in the car with my dad and all go to the stables. But when it was time to go to the actual working the horses, I'd be nowhere near there. I'd be like hiding away in a bathroom or somewhere.
So what did you just chuck your skull cap and say? In those days, no one actually even wore skull caps, did they? Just say, go out there and ride. Get on this horse. Go and take it.
Yes, he would just say, get on that horse, and you know, you don't want to like now I'm in a position now to get on a horse. You know, if I could get out of it before I get there, it'd be okay. But now I'm there, so I'm committed. So I had to get on horses. Obviously not showing that I'm scared. But I used to ride a couple of the old race horses on the farm, so that gave me a lot of experience in that way. But to ride a racehorse is a completely different story.
Who did you ended up going to the academy, obviously, and there must have been people you looked at and thought to yourself, that's how I'd like to be. You know, did you model yourself on anyone?
You know, I didn't model myself on anyone. My dad was a jockey, so obviously I would ride, and he'd actually work horses next to me. So we'd work together, and we'd be galloping, and he would say to me, you know, keep your hands like this, or, you know, sit up, or, you know, open your legs, or whatever. And so obviously that would be sort of like a start. But I came to the academy. He basically sent me to the academy. I didn't really want to come to the academy. And so the academy masters are there to teach you. And they would teach you certain things. And I just tried to perfect what they taught me. Mr. Buckham and Curtis, they were the guys, and Cavey, they were the guys that were there when I started in 1981. And as I said, to me, if you wanted to have good hands, I wanted to be the best at having good hands. I wanted to have the best style. I wanted to do everything that I had to do. I wanted to do the best than everyone else. And a lot of times people ask me, what's the secret about a good jockey? And to me, it's not one secret. It's about doing the little things better than the rest. Eventually those little things add up to be one big success.
All right. You mentioned what I think is probably the key to me and many, many people watching you ride. you have style, you have great hands, but you seem to have balance and strength of leg that I have not seen in very many jockeys. Would that be the key?
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have the biggest of legs. In fact, I get a bit shy walking around in shorts. But I think my top muscles are quite strong, and it's hard work because when I started as an apprentice, first thing that used to go is the hands. You know, your hands get tired and they split in your skin or whatever, and you get strong. But something that's I've never been able to fully overcome is the strength in the legs. To me, it's a constant battle. If, for instance, if I don't have a minimum of 5 rides a race meeting, because maybe I don't ride a lot of work. So if I don't have 5 rides a race meeting, I go with, like within 10 days, I can feel I'm starting to weaken.
That is your thighs, the top of your legs. They burn, don't they? You know, I've ridden a bit and I know how hard it is. And the exercise we used to do, we used to say to people, stand up against the wall at 45 degrees and see if you can stay there for more than a minute or two. And you guys are sitting there doing it sometimes for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, and especially if you ride on the Vol sand. Wow, that's hard work. You know, if I've had 7, 8 rides a meeting and I go home and I need 15 minutes to recuperate, just put my feet up. After I come from a Vol sand, you need an hour or 2. That's really testing because you at the horse so early to try and just keep up with the pacemakers. Did you work on your upper legs and your body strength apart from what normal people would do? Yeah, I've gone through stages where I have tried. I've found that if I don't have a lot of rides, I do a bit of spinning. It does help me, but I've got to be so careful because I'm tall with my weight. I've got sort of comfortable at 54 kilograms. I can get down a little bit more if I have to, but there's not a lot of fat on me to lose. So if I do a lot more exercise, then I start getting a little bit heavier. Let's move on to one of the most famous races probably in your career when you got down, London News winning the July. Did you go too early? We didn't go very fast. Yeah. So, and he was a very natural gate speed horse, travels, in fact, travelled a little bit hard with me. And no one challenged me and happened to ease back as little as possible, not too much, because then it becomes the whole field just comes rushing past you. I think that's what a lot of jockeys make a mistake. They think they must go so slow in front and make a sprint of it. But if there's 5 or 6 other horses that can sprint better than you, they challenge you early and they've got to run on you. So I tried to ease back a little bit, and he accelerated unbelievably. He caught me off guard with that amount of acceleration. I thought he'd quicken up, I might get a length or 2 in him, but not 4 or 5 lengths.
It's time for guts and glory as the Rothmans July field dash for the sash, and London News clears away by 4 from Duperdice and Stride ahead. On the inside of that one is Pelagos trying to run on from behind Tuarissimo, but London News is clear by 4 with 100 to go. Tuarissimo's running on the outside, Sleep Machine, London News holding on, Dollar Fortune, Tuarissimo, Sleep Machine, London News just won the Rothmans. London News, Sleep Machine came flying on the outside, but what a well-judged ride by Piere Strydom on number 20, London News, who will be the victor in the 100th running of the Rothmans July, and I must say lasted just long enough.
So it was a bit scary going past the line because obviously the other horse was coming so fast that past the line, 2, 3 strides he was past me. So that was a bit scary. But these are things that as a jockey people don't realize you've got to think of. You've won 5,000 races. You can't have thought that there are many that you should have won. Are there any that you spring to mind? That I should have won? Yeah. Probably many. I don't want to admit it, but I think a lot of people mistake horse riding by thinking horses, you can just press a button. You don't just press buttons. Horses have got different ways of running, bad habits. For instance, I won the Summer Cup now this weekend. Some people have said, oh, that horse got a run on me. Well, I started getting going, but if the second horse accelerates better than you. You know, it's like a car. If you've got a bit of turbo, you know, it's going to be the instant. Some horses don't have it instant, and so you're trying to do your best to get the horse rolling, but another horse has got more acceleration than you, and he's got a length or two on you. Now you just got to hope that your horse will get that momentum going, and he'll stop a little bit, which is exactly what happened. Yeah, so it's not pressing buttons.
But you say that, but I've seen many races where many jockeys have won the race, not at the finish post. You seem to have a knack of knowing where the finish post is, and that's where you want to win. And certainly in your early days, and that's why the name Striker came.
Yes, the name Striker came about because I used to get up on the line, and it's amazing how I didn't used to win by half a length or a length. I used to win by a short head or a head. The thing that I found in PE racing in those days, still now, PE racing is very fast. You've got to go fast to, you know, short track. Arlington used to have a short track straight. Fairview's got a longer straight, but it's got a bit slight downhill. So you can't ride like you can just sit at the back and think. But the pace has got to be on for you to be able to get there. And so, especially the wind, I love riding, especially in the headwind, because I think that the way I can conserve a horse, some jocks might all ride for the same, knowing that there's a headwind. We all do that. But sometimes some guys might move it at 300, and that wind's too strong. You know, you got to wait a bit longer. And that patience is what my dad taught me. He said to me, he rode for many years, and the more patient he was on a horse, the better his horses used to run for him. So I learned about patience. I learned about a horse, that the feeling that a horse can start gathering itself up a little bit. It starts almost like it's traveling, just for the stride or two. Because if you're hard at the horse all the time, that horse doesn't really want to give you it. You've worked so hard on a horse for so long. At some stage, the horse must come back to you. Some horses aren't good enough. You're under pressure a long way out. So unfortunately, like some of the jocks, they don't get the good rides I get. They can't really do that. But I'm lucky to get the good rides where the pace is on, and I can gather that horse at some stage. Some stage you've got to give that horse that, if it's 5 strides breather or 20 strides breather, you just go flat out all the way.
Balance seems to be crucial. And, you know, there's certain jockeys that we've obviously loved watching, and to me, Strydom in South Africa, Lester Piggott in England. Those are two jockeys that I want to watch. Your balance seems to be supreme. You just seem to be one with the horse. Is it hard to do? Is it a big problem out there? As a jockey, do you see a lot of horses that you think, ooh, if that was a bit better balance, it would have won?
Most definitely. I find sometimes jockeys don't let the horse do the running. They're trying to do the running for the horse. And you have to give the horse a chance to be balanced. Changing horses' legs as well. At some stage, your horse gets tired. Just for an example, if you run with a bucket with 5 litre water in your left hand, and you keep running 100 meters, 200 meters, eventually this arm gets tired, and you put it in this arm. Now you can go again. You gotta let the horse do that for you. They'll do it themselves, but sometimes you have to do it for the horse. And it's just getting on that other leg, 50 meters, 100 meters, and then back again. And he gives you that final bit. So,
interesting style as well. While we're talking about your style, you ride with your feet home. There are not many jockeys that ride like that still. Have you never thought of maybe getting a toe in the iron and being like the rest of them? Because it is different.
I have tried it in the past, especially when I was going through a bad patch with my knees. I tried a lot of different things to overcome the knee problems. So riding with my toes in the irons, I did try it. I found when I rode in Hong Kong, I had to ride a bit more with the toes, because your horses seem to jump out a lot quicker on the toe, because you're on top of the horse. As he's in stride, you're in stride with the horse. Where if you're a little bit back you tend to hang back a little bit if you've got your whole foot in the iron. I've now gone in between, where I feel that I can still keep the same style, get down. I feel that I'm a lot more, my feet, my toes, my ankles are a lot more with the horse. And if a horse ducks or wants to go left or right, I'm a lot more in control by having some sort of foot in the iron and not just the toes.
Do you grip with your ankles?
Yes.
And the only part is really the ankles that grip the horse? Because I see your knees have got wider apart than they used to be.
My thinking is, and I know we all have different styles and it works for all different people. Mikanane, for instance, I thought he's one of the best riders that I've seen. He would ride with his knees completely closed. So he's almost got the knees touching, and he's like a lot of weight on the horse. Where I've started riding a little bit away from the saddle, my knees are open, and Frankie Dettori, perfect example. I just feel if your knees are away from the saddle, you can move, but you're not moving the horse. If your knees are closed, you move the whole horse, but if your knees are apart, you're moving, but the horse is still...
So when you want a horse to change legs, you just close your knees slightly and shift your weight?
Slightly and shift the weight, yeah.
It's a fascinating business that you do, because there are very few people that are really good at it, and I think to be really good at it, you've got to study. You've been around the world, and you mentioned Hong Kong. Obviously, the pinnacle of your career in Hong Kong was JJ the jet plane.
Yeah, JJ was fantastic. Not only getting to ride him in features here and winning on all of them, but the fact that Lucky decided we're going to Hong Kong, Kuni and the horse as well, Piere Strydom, my friend, and that we were all going to go to Hong Kong, and it's like, wow, you know, we're gonna looking for the big fish now, and to end up going to travel to Hong Kong. We were there for a week, and to finally get to ride in the race. But what I found leading up to the race, in the jockey room, I was trying to get other riders on the meeting, just because I hadn't ridden in Hong Kong for a couple of years. And it's just good to have that little bit of a feel, you know, the track, the conditions, the speed again of getting back to Hong Kong. And I couldn't get another ride. And it's probably the most mental preparation I ever did, because this was like, to me, the biggest race I was ever going to ride in, unless another horse comes in the future. But at that stage, mentally, I had to prepare myself. They also had a mechanical horse in the jockey room, and I was on that mechanical horse. I was working on my style, my hands, holding the reins, thinking where I'm drawn, where the dangers are, and I was so prepared going into that parade ring that I was, you know, I just had a good feeling about the race.
Totally relaxed. But come the race itself, it was a humdinger. Did you feel the pressure in the last 300 meters, 400, and it looked like the other horse might have you all the way to the line?
You know, pressure to me only really, it's sort of a build-up to a race, and possibly in the parade ring, because you're chatting to your owners and your trainer, and they've got certain things in mind, and you don't always agree what the trainer's got in mind. You've read the conditions of the race, or how the pace is going to be, and your trainer comes and tells you something completely different. So I find that sometimes puts a bit of pressure on me, because I know what I think is right for the horse, and now something else is expected. And I think sometimes trainers make a mistake by not allowing a jockey to do the thinking and going out there and riding a race to win. If a jockey's got something in mind and he's got to do what the trainer's expecting, and he's still got to win a race, he's in two minds all the time. You only want one thought. Anyway.
But Pierre, you're right. But just digressing on that point, the trouble is that most horses in most races trained by most trainers have got middle of the road and lesser jockeys on. There are only 4 or 5 guys who you can walk into the parade ring and say to them, you know what to do, and the guy knows what to do. And as a result, you get used to telling people what to do. And everyone's a glorified jockey, aren't they?
And, you know, and some also have got devices. So the trainer's got to tell the jockey, you know, this is what you should expect and whatever. I just think the less complicated you make it, the less the jockey has to think. The more natural it becomes, the easier it becomes.
All right, getting back to JJ.
Anyway, so yeah, the race just worked out perfect because we had a good start. A Felix rode Rocket Man, and the pace was on, and I saw Felix go a little bit forward, and I thought, well, I'm right next to him, but knowing his horse has got to be quite ridden quite handy, aggressively, sort of helped me out because now I knew I had the perfect horse to follow, and it was all about position. You know, Sharpton's got a sort of a short running track, always runs very fast, and as we came into the straight, just obviously put a bit of pressure on Felix. So obviously it's natural. Felix has to go. I would do the same if I was in that position, but it made Felix press the button. So I could press the button, but I knew there was still that little bit. I know I only won by a short head, but I didn't go flat out at that point. And it just so happened that JJ was good enough to get up on the line. So that was just so good because everything worked out perfect.
Weren't you were with Lucky as a jockey, weren't you? You rode a lot with him.
Yes,
so you mates actually.
We mates. He's fought with me a couple of times because I used to take some of his rides, and now he's giving me some of his rides. So yeah.
But he's a bum golfer.
I think so too.
Well, about your golf a little bit, you know, I think you took it very seriously at one stage, and you really wanted to attain the pinnacle, which you did. You won a green jacket, but you can't hit it out of a paper bag for a guy that's, you know, built like you.
Well, I gave it up twice before because I just realised I'm not that good. But I thought for the third time I better. I'm going to keep trying because it's not only enjoyable, it's a camaraderie. Playing in a 4-ball with friends and the challenge of knowing that you're going to try and beat your score. Having a bet makes it exciting. Afterwards, having a good chat with the mates and telling about old stories, you know, and then going to different golf courses and going out, seeing the rest of the country. I mean, I wouldn't be gone down to Knysna with seeing these. Having a good time and going to see these golf courses. I mean, it's just the whole package is good. It costs a bit of money, but especially if you lose.
They are beautiful, golf courses, and you know, to rather walk on a golf course than walk in the park with a dog.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
Talking about money, because obviously, you know, you've ridden 5,000 winners. There's always an underbelly to racing as to, you know, people offer you. Have people offered you anything to make sure a horse doesn't win?
You know, funny enough, when I first came up to Joburg in 1988, I was approached twice, and I think they very quickly knew I'm not approachable. I'm not saying anything happens in the game. I think, you know, you hear the stories about soccer and cricket and whatever. It's part of life, but the game is very straight, in my opinion. I think people listen to stories. Some people want to feel important, and the stories get run away. And you know, that's racing's always had that.
Well, it's got that mystique. Rudyard Kipling and all those the books, you know, that have been written about racing and how people pull coups. You've got guys like Barney Curley. Have you been ever offered a lot of money to win a race when you know, people may be going in a Pick Six or anything? And has it happened?
I have, yes. I was quite lucky when I won a race in Hong Kong. The owner offered me some nice money. But I had to win 3 races, and unfortunately we won 2, and then the third one
So,
we ran third.
as Carl Berger would say, it was a progress plate.
Yes.
But money is what makes the business go round. You know, money buys good horses. Money is what people go to the races for, to bet on horses. So you've got to believe that it's there a lot of the time. And you must have seen everything.
Well, it's life, but funny enough, the game's changed quite a bit. When I started racing, we as jockeys used to get a little present here and there. Those days are gone. I think money's hard to get by nowadays, so it's hard out there. You know, the owners, you know, the monthly bills are high, and your stakes, obviously you'd like it to be higher, but you know, there's only so much stakes available, and so there's not much spare cash.
Did you ever believe a couple of years ago that you'd be sitting here chatting about 5,000 winners? 5,000 is an inordinate amount of winners in anyone's book.
Well, it never ever came across my mind. In fact, I remember, I think it was 2009, I had 3,000 winners, and Mike Azzi actually gave me a nice picture, you know, for the 3,000 winners, and I completely even forgot about it. I didn't even know I had 4,000 winners. And a friend of mine, Barry, he a couple of months back said to me, you know, you've got less than 100 to go for the 5,000. And well, all of a sudden, I thought, well, this is, you know, a goal to achieve that I don't have to change much, I just have to keep riding winners. But it's something that no one's done in South Africa, and I'm sure we all want to hold some records, or, I mean, like I held a record for number of wins in the season, and the very next season, Anthony Delpech came to break it. So, you know, you've got to keep breaking records, because there are a lot of people behind you that will be trying to break that.
Has it been hard the last couple of months? I know that African Betting Clan and some of the sites have counted down your winners with a lot of interest and fun being had.
You know, it's been no pressure whatsoever. I didn't have to achieve it in a certain amount of time. The only time where I felt, well, I'm not riding under pressure, but I'm feeling like I don't want to let these people down. For instance, I had 2 winners to go, Tuesday at the Vaal, and I had my girlfriend Claudia, and the kids came through, and some of my staff members from the restaurant, and press coming, and Andrew Bond with the cameras and following me all around, and I had no winner. So it's like, okay, well, everyone came back on Thursday, and I only had 1. And now everyone went to Cape Town. So now I've got 3 rides in Cape Town. And I'm thinking, well, realistically, only one can win Active War.
Yeah.
Please let this win, because can you imagine if I don't win on that, everyone's going to follow me. And, you know, it just starts adding up. So it was such a relief in a way that the 5,000 winners eventually came.
It became a perfect scenario. If racing ever wants to really grow on itself, that was the scenario it needed, and it should be used, I would have thought.
Yeah, I've never had so much coverage. I've won in July 3 times, I won in JMB Met, I won on JJ in Hong Kong. The coverage I've had now is unbelievable. I've had to go SABC, ANN 7 studios, radios, newspapers, consistently. It's just gone out of what I would ever expect from racing. But the nice thing is, it's not only getting coverage from Teletrack or local racing newspapers, it's national, and I think that's what we need.
Well, as far as we're concerned, you've done everything that you ever set out to do as a jockey, probably a lot more. You've given so many people so much pleasure riding those 5,000 winners. And unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll just wish you the very best in riding your next 5,000, may it be, and watching you forever riding racehorses. You're a gem and a pleasure to watch, Piere, and thank you so much for coming down and joining us.
Thank you. It's just probably difficult to get to 6,000.
Yeah.
You could have 200 winners a season for 5 years, so this is another 1,000. And then before I finish, just thank you very much to everyone. Every single winner helped me to get to that figure. If I was one short, I wouldn't be getting to that figure, so thank you very much.
Well, there you go. Piere Strydom, an insight into the man, the jockey, the champion, and the master on a horse. As I've said, I've seen some jockeys ride in my 40 years training racehorses. I've never seen anyone in this country as good as Piere Strydom. It's a pleasure to have had him here on Winning Ways. To all of you out there, you have a great week's racing.